Hey guys, welcome back to another The Wreck video. I think I figured out what was going on with the audio, so let's hope we got this right this time. Oops. Okay. What? We... There we go.
Marie was a grandmother who was often angry. As a result, she and Junon did not talk much. It was too exhausting. And then one day, Marie calls.
That was kind of scary.
Junon was a mom who had made a huge mistake. She had bruises everywhere, a broken arm, her skull was split. It wasn't a pretty sight, but Alex didn't mind and still took care of her. Junon was quite sure that she didn't deserve it. And then one day, she gets better. Astrid was both a little girl and a very big girl. When she turned 4, she decided she would brush her own teeth. She was so eager to grow up. And then one day, Astrid disappears.
Oh no.
Alex was a great dad who took good care of his child. He showered her, cooked her food, invented games for her. Anytime the little girl was home, his deep laughter would shake the house's walls. And then, one day, Alex no longer feels like laughing.
Okay. Kind of depressing.
Time passes, but a big little girl doesn't just disappear. She leaves toys and drawings lying around, and all kinds of fist-sized marks, like tiny little clenched fists punching holes into Junon's heart.
God, this is depressing.
Time passes, and Alex is still standing. He misses his daughter. He misses laughing, too. But he doesn't show it. He's taking care of everything. He cleans up, he cooks, he washes. He wants people to know that he won't crumble down. Time passes, and the phone rings. Again, and again, and again. Junon doesn't know what Marie wants, but she can guess. Marie was there when Junon made her big mistake. And if Junon picks up, they'll have to talk about it. Junon can't forgive herself. So the phone rings, and nobody answers.
God, I couldn't imagine, man.
Time passes, and Junon's body fixes itself. The bones heal, the bruises fade. Doctors call it a miracle. Junon doesn't agree. But these doctors are no good anyway. They didn't even notice that Junon's heart is strewn all around. One day, Alex puts away every hint of Astrid into a big box. The apartment seems a bit empty all of a sudden. But it is what it is. And Alex isn't crying.
How can you not cry? I feel like crying.
Marie keeps on calling. When the accident happened, Marie knocked her head. She looks like she's better now, but Junon is still thinking that she almost killed her. Her too, she might add, so she's not picking up.
Hmm. No? Oh, I thought I saw something. The one thing I'd say about this game is, like, sometimes you just don't know what you're supposed to click on, or how many times it wants you to go through a sequence of events. I wish it was more like, okay, hey, look. Okay. Nothing. There we go.
Alex wants to rescue Junon from her sadness, wash her hair, cut her nails, spoon-feed her. He wants to be the guy you can rely on, to walk back home when you're tired. But today, Junon is not walking back. Junon doesn't want to be saved. Not by Alex. Not by anyone. She puts her finger through the candle flame to feel the bite. She wants to hurt. Just like that time. Broken bones and ripped up flesh. She's angry that her heart is still beating.
Hmm. There we go.
And then one day... Are you sure you want to know the rest of the story, my little fawn? I hadn't prepared anything. I was just going to wash up. I had closed the door, taken off my clothes, turned on the shower, and I started crying. I couldn't stop. I couldn't go on. I had medicine for my broken heart. And I decided to swallow it all.
Oh, God.
Your toothbrush was on the edge of the bathroom sink, which made me think of my very big little girl. Her smile full of toothpaste. I thought that maybe I too could give it a try, but I had forgotten how to. I put those little pills in my mouth, and they tasted funny on my tongue. I just needed to swallow them. And right at that moment, the phone started ringing. Marie didn't ask me why I didn't answer the phone for a whole year. She started talking as if nothing happened. I was crying too much, I couldn't answer. So she told me she could wait. And she waited until the last tear was shed. And then, she told me something she had never told me. Perhaps one day I can tell you exactly what it was. But, long story short, it meant she loved us very much, you and I. In that moment, I felt like an enormous weight was lifted off of my shoulders, as if she had given me the most beautiful gift. And then she changed the subject, as she does. She had a proposal for me. Her career was taking off, and she needed someone to do the clerical work. She knew I would do it well. She told me, it's a boring job. I'm not doing you any favors, but you can do me one. I accepted. Alex never learned what really happened that day. He panicked because he could no longer hear me, so he broke the door. But he was too late. It was all over already. That's it, my little fawn. That's the end of my story. If it weren't for Marie, I wouldn't be here to tell you, because she gave me more than words that day. She helped me understand that it was time I made my own decisions. That's the thing I figured out that night. And it changed me for the better. I would no longer rely on others to save me. Not on Marie, not Alex, not anyone else. I couldn't live like that. Not anymore.
Oh, God.
Have I ever not been there for you?
He didn't actually understand. He didn't get the dynamic we had and what it did to us. And me neither, actually. Up until today, I lived some sort of a misunderstanding. But it's over. It's true. You were there. Not just when we lost Astrid, you've always been there. I knew that whatever happened, you'd be there.
Oops.
It's not easy to explain why you fall in love with someone. There was no love at first sight between your father and I. We even lost touch after high school. And still,
Oops.
I went to university in Lyon, and he studied video games in Angoulême, across the country. We found each other again by chance, 3 years later at a friend's party. We talked all night. It was as if we had never been apart. About movies, of course. More specifically, Bridge to Terabithia. A drama
Good movie,
about
good
two
movie.
awkward tweens who become friends. I
read the
spent
book in
3 hours
elementary school.
explaining to him that I thought the movie sucked, while he cried, reminiscing about the end. He was crying so hard and laughing at the same time. The other guests didn't understand. It's amazing, he said, that you can make art that moves you this way. Oh. Your father loves big emotions. On a day-to-day basis, he seems impervious, but it's all a facade. I was really impressed to see him spill his guts in public. It felt cathartic. I like to hide behind my cynicism. But I have to say, I was kind of jealous. At some point that night, we started making out.
Oh god.
And I immediately knew that it would last. There was something in his eyes. I was really anxious at the time about everything. But when I woke up at his place the next day, for a brief moment, the oppressive feeling had disappeared. It happened again when I saw him the next day, and the day after, and then after that, every time we met. In spite of the distance, I felt like I was taking drugs. And it was really good. I hated it. I felt like I could never live up to your composure. I was full of doubts, insecurity, anxiety. I was a waste of your time, Alex.
I never thought so, ever.
I know. Being with you was a gift. But it had to stop.
After Astrid died,
You see my little phone? Even when you're gone, you're never very far. That was the trigger, yes. When Astrid died, I did what I always do. I leaned on you. You would have the answer. You would know what to do. But... But now, though, I understand. This whole time, your poor dad was fishing out corpses. Not literally. Don't worry, I'm
What do
not
you
going
mean?
crazy. It's just... It reminds me of this story I read while doing research for a screenplay. The story of a guy named Wei Peng, a farmer in the Yellow River Valley who found himself a unique occupation. His cabin is 20 kilometers downstream from Lanzhou, an industrial city that attracts poor folks looking for work. And their life is so terrible that a bunch of them are committing suicide.
Oh god.
Lanzhou is mostly known for its thermal plants, its factories, and the highest level of atmospheric pollution in all of China. That said, there are cities like Lanzhou all around the world. Every morning, Wei Peng grabs his pitchfork, pops into his small boat, and he searches the river. He's looking for bulky and soft lumps. Most of the time, they're goat carcasses. But every now and then, he finds humans. When Wei Peng manages to identify the body, he sells it. Otherwise, he buries it. Between 500 and 5,000 yuan, depending on the client. I understood why people paid him. It's a horrible feeling not knowing what happened to a loved one. They were purchasing more than a mortal coil. They were purchasing peace of mind. But I didn't get why Wei Peng did it. How can you live with this job? Then, I reached the end of the article. His own child died in that river. A kid your age, trying to retrieve a ball in the water. Wei Peng didn't know how to swim. He couldn't do anything. And now I understand Wei Peng. Just as I understand Alex. Some people find it Easier to alleviate other people's grief than to deal with their own pain head-on. Maybe that worked for you, being in that position. As long as you were taking care of me, you wouldn't have to think about yourself. Or about Astrid.
Maybe I never thought about it that way.
Me neither, you know, I only understand this now.
Okay, then. Why? If I thought I was helping you, but actually hurting, why did you come back to see me?
I really shouldn't have. I don't know what came over me.
I was happy to see you again.
Of course, I liked it too. But it also felt like a farewell.
Last week to me, that was just like before.
Alex? Are you still there? Marie had this weird rule back home. You only get to cry once. It didn't matter the reason, from bike falls to headaches to world hunger. She had this theory that there are two reasons one might cry. Either from surprise, when life sucker punches you, or from cowardice, when you give up on fighting back. You only get to cry once from surprise, she used to say. And there is no time for cowardice. Well, I think she forgot that there was a third possibility. Sometimes you cry because you've mustered up the courage to look at life how it is. Oh, if you're crying, I'm going to cry too. You'll never beat me at this game. I have a lot of practice.
Oh crap, Junon, I'm so sorry. You don't owe me anything. I guess I should leave you alone.
Yeah, well, haven't exactly made it easy for you.
But I'm not doing well, okay? Really, I'm not.
Wow. You don't get these heartfelt moments from him, ever. Since last week?
Let me show you something.
He wants to video chat. Oh, wow. This is, Did I ever tell you the story of the Lookout? It's a very special place for us. We were driving, Alex, you and I. It was a really hot day. Alex was at the wheel. We were on our way back from a weekend at Marie's. As usual, I was stressed out from spending time with her. I was eager to get home. I was just exhausted. So when you told me your tummy was hurting, I didn't really believe you. I remember clearly thinking, oh, she's okay. And then hearing the sound. Like snow falling from the top of a roof on the first warm day. Except it wasn't snow. It was the worst pile of vomit I had ever smelled.
Oh, God.
When he saw your face in the rear view, Alex knew he had to stop immediately. You looked truly positively puzzled. You were staring at the puddle beneath your feet, then looking around to see where it came from. And I was twisting and contorting from the front seat, but unable to help. I didn't even wait for the car to stop. I jumped out, went for your door, and squeezed you against me. I didn't care if I got dirty, I just wanted you to feel good. I thought it was my fault. I should have listened to you. Your forehead was hot. It could be serious. I carried you out to the banister on the end of the clearing and laid you on the grass. Your face was pale and your eyes were bulging and you started screaming. Oh dear! You were vomiting, looking up, staring in the distance, screaming, "Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear!" And I didn't understand. I kept asking you, "What's wrong, baby?" Patting your back, pulling your hair away from your face to help. And there was a pit growing in my stomach and my eyes were welling up. I was terrified, and your dad was terrified. You were smiling. You pointed in front of you. Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! So we turned around, and on the other side of the banister, there was a cliff going straight down. And down below, there was a prairie stretching between two leafy bushes, and in the middle of the prairie, there was a deer. I could have written this whole scene. He was standing tall beneath the sunset, as if holding it with his antlers. And he was looking at us, completely stunned. He was magnificent. Alex took a picture with his cell phone. And you kept repeating, a deer,
Trophy deer
clapping
crossing.
your hands when he finally jumped out into the bushes. Ah, we were in a daze, you know. We couldn't believe the beauty of what we'd just seen. And then you vomited one last time on your dad's shoes. And that day, you became the world's greatest deer fan. My little deer.
Oh, that's why you call her your little fawn.
What are you doing over there?
Do you recognize the place?
Of course I do. I'll never forget the lookout.
Every time I take this road, I have to stop. The other drivers don't get it, of course. They ask me if I need assistance, if I broke down or something. I'm just trying to enjoy the view. It's so beautiful. Today I came here just for that.
Why the sudden rush of nostalgia?
Oh wow, we're at 26 minutes. Alright guys, gonna end it here, and we will continue going through this. Thank you guys so much for watching.